I know growing up when I was playing poorly, I thought that I had to retool my swing. I thought I had 26 things wrong with my golf swing. But the good news is, even when you're playing your worst, we think you only have one thing wrong with your golf swing. See, we're trying to get the club to come in on the right angle. And if it's not coming in on the wrong angle, the correct angle, it's only off in one way. Your airplane is either trying to land coming into vertically, and it either crashes into the ground or it abruptly pulls up to avoid the crash, or you're the opposite. Your airplane's coming in for a landing, but it's coming in on far too shallow of an angle, and it's actually landing before the runway. So we don't see it as that, even when you're playing your worst, that you have this mess and this long laundry list of things that you need to correct. We see it as your impact is only off in one way. If it's not neutral, it's either too steep and too narrow, or it's coming in on a too shallow and too wide of an angle.
You know, relative to that same airplane landing is swing shape. If your swing shape doesn't produce the correct, what I call bottom of the swing, in other words, it lands correctly down there, your bottom of your golf swing can be too narrow, like this, too much like a V, to where you're swinging straight down and straight up too much, or we would call that too choppy, or it can be too sweepy. It can be too wide, and all it's doing is sweeping along the ground. It doesn't really have an angle into the ground. So when we go to land that airplane, we need to come in on the right width and the right angle of attack to safely land our airplane. So many of you might top the ball because you come down so abrupt at it that you have to pull up to avoid a crash, do you see? And your friends will say to you, whoa, you lifted your head, whoa, you raised up like that. Well, thank goodness you did, because otherwise you'd have broken an arm or a hand, or at least the shaft of your club. So one of the things we want you to understand, like Chris said, is you don't have 50 things wrong with your golf swing. You have relative to impact if you're not neutral. Neutral means you're landing your airplane correctly. If you're not neutral, you're either going to be coming in from too steep and narrow a place, or you're going to come in from too sweepy and shallow a place.